Think these fruits are healthy? They're actually making polycystic ovary syndrome worse. Are you tired of feeling at war with your own body? Tired of the constant, painful bloating that makes you feel self-conscious? The stubborn weight, especially around your middle, that just won't leave, no matter how healthy you try to eat? Do you struggle with the exhaustion that settles deep in your bones, the confusing skin breakouts, the irregular cycles, and the overwhelming feeling that you are doing everything right, but getting everything wrong? You reach for a smoothie in the morning, packed with bananas and mangoes, or you snack on a handful of natural raisins, believing you are making the virtuous choice, the healthy choice, only to find yourself crashing an hour later, feeling more inflamed, more fatigued, and more defeated than before. It's a lonely and frustrating cycle, and it makes you want to just give up. But there is good news, and it is found not in a new extreme diet, but in an ancient, gentle wisdom, a wisdom of profound understanding and self-compassion. The confusion you feel is real, it is valid, and the solution to calming your body, balancing your hormones, and finally stopping these painful, exhausting cycles is within your reach, and it begins with understanding. The path to healing is not about restriction, it's about clarity. In today's video, we are going to dive very deep into the wisdom taught by ancient monks, a wisdom rooted in balance, mindfulness, and the middle way, to reveal which fruits, often praised as the pinnacle of health food, might be quietly and unknowingly aggravating your polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms. We will uncover why this happens and, most importantly, how you can find peace with food and with your body once again. So I ask you to stick around, stay with me, because you truly do not want to miss this life-changing shift in perspective, a shift that could change your relationship with your health and your body forever. Before we begin this quiet journey together, I would love to feel your presence. I'd love to know where you are joining me from today. Please drop a comment below and feel free to share any part of your story you feel comfortable or ask any questions that are heavy on your heart. This is a shared space. And if you are seeking a different path to healing, one that feels more like a homecoming, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never, ever miss a health-boosting tip from us here at Sacred Women's Health. First, let's talk about the great misunderstanding, the cloud of confusion that surrounds fruit, and why what we've been taught may not be the whole truth for a body managing polycystic ovary syndrome. We are taught from the time we are children that fruit is nature's perfect food, nature's candy, pure, simple, vibrant, and always unequivocally good for us. We're told to eat more of it, to choose it over processed snacks, to blend it into our morning routines. But for women with polycystic ovary syndrome, the story becomes far more complex, more nuanced. The compassionate wisdom of Buddhist teachings invites us to look at the root of suffering, the dukkha. In polycystic ovary syndrome, so much of this suffering, the weight gain, the exhaustion, the hirsutism, the acne, the infertility stems from a foundational imbalance, something commonly known as insulin resistance. Let's think of this simply. Insulin is a vital hormone, a key. Its primary job is to travel through your blood and unlock your body's cells, allowing the sugar, the glucose, from your food to enter and be used for energy. It's a beautiful, life-sustaining system. But in a state of insulin resistance, which affects the vast majority of women with polycystic ovary syndrome, the locks on the cells have become rusty. They don't respond properly to the key. Your body, in its infinite wisdom, senses the sugar is still high in the blood, so it does the only thing it knows how to do. It makes more keys. It floods your system with more and more insulin, shouting at the cells to please open up. This constant flood of high insulin is the catalyst for chaos. This excess insulin signals your ovaries to produce more androgens, like testosterone, which leads to many of the most painful symptoms. It also signals your body to store fat, particularly visceral fat around your abdomen. and it creates a state of chronic, systemic inflammation. This is the root imbalance. Now, where do fruits fit into this picture? Many fruits, especially the ones we've been taught are the healthiest, are packed with natural sugars, fructose, and glucose. When we eat them, especially when we eat them alone or in large quantities, they break down quickly and rush into our bloodstream. For a body that is already struggling, for a body whose cell locks are already rusty, this sudden rush of sugar is like a tidal wave hitting a town that is already flooded. It demands a massive, immediate insulin response to manage the surge. It's like pouring gasoline on an already burning fire. And I need you to hear this, to really let this sink in. This is not your fault. You are not weak for craving sugar. You were not failing at your diet when you ate that giant fruit smoothie and felt shaky and exhausted an hour later. You were not lazy or undisciplined. You were simply following advice that was not designed for your unique, sensitive, and powerful body. You were told an apple a day, but no one ever sat you down and explained how your body, in its current state, processes that apple differently. You are one of millions, truly millions, of women walking this exact same confusing, isolating path, trying so hard to do the right thing while feeling constantly betrayed by your own biology. This space right here, this moment, is a place of safety and profound understanding. We are letting go of the guilt. We are releasing the blame. We are just observing what is. This is the first noble truth of Buddhist wisdom, acknowledging the suffering, the dukkha, exists without judgment. The suffering is the confusion, the bloating, the exhaustion, the feeling of being unheard. And now, together, we will look at the cause, the samudaya, so we can find the path to its cessation. The first and perhaps most pervasive trap, the one that looks the most virtuous and is praised by health influencers everywhere, is the morning fruit smoothie or the healthy fruit juice. We wake up wanting to start our day right. We throw in a ripe banana for creaminess, a cup of mango or pineapple for sweetness, maybe some orange juice as a base, and we blend it all, believing we are flooding our bodies with vitamins and purity. But what we are actually metabolically doing is creating a high-sugar, low-fiber bomb. When fruit is whole, its sugar is beautifully encased in a fibrous matrix. This fiber is the antidote. It is the great protector. It forces your body to work to break it down, which means the sugar is released slowly, gently, like a calm stream into your bloodstream. But when you put that fruit into a high-speed blender, you pulverize that protective structure. You obliterate the fiber's power. You essentially do all the digestion work before it even enters your body, concentrating all the sugar and making it instantly available. This liquid sugar, even though it came from a natural source, hits your bloodstream like a freight train, causing a dramatic, rapid spike in blood sugar. Your pancreas, in a state of panic, releases a tidal wave of insulin to try and manage the sudden crisis. This is the absolute worst way to start your day if you have polycystic ovary syndrome. You are starting your day in a state of hormonal chaos, setting yourself up for a terrible energy crash by 10 a.m., triggering intense cravings for more sugar or carbohydrates, and reinforcing the very cycle of insulin resistance you are trying to heal. Can a simple homemade smoothie really be that detrimental? If it's just fruit, how can it be making polycystic ovary syndrome worse? Yes, because for your specific body, the speed and concentration of the sugar matter infinitely more than the source. A Buddhist monk practices the middle way, the path of moderation. They would not sit down and consume the sugary essence of 10 oranges in one glass of juice. They would mindfully, slowly eat one single orange, honoring the fiber, the texture, the experience. That massive smoothie is an extreme. It is imbalance, and it creates a profound disturbance in the body. The practical, compassionate path here is not to fear fruit, but to respect it. The first step is to stop drinking your fruit. Eat it whole. Feel the texture. Chew it. Engage with it. If you absolutely feel you must have a smoothie, you must learn to build it differently. A healing smoothie should be 80% green, like spinach or kale. It must contain a healthy fat, like a quarter of an avocado, a tablespoon of chia seeds, or almond butter. It must contain a clean protein source, like a high-quality protein powder. And then, and only then, you add a small amount of low-sugar fruit, like a small handful of frozen raspberries or blueberries. The fat, the fiber, and the protein dress the sugar. They act as a buffer, forcing your body to digest it slowly, preventing the insulin spike. This is the mindful, balanced approach. But that's just the beginning. Avoiding juice and high-sugar smoothies is the first layer of understanding. What about the whole fruits themselves? The ones we are told to eat every single day? The next realization is even more subtle, and it's one that is so often overlooked by conventional health experts, and it's time we brought it into the light. Before we continue, can I ask you something personal? Just take a quiet breath and connect with this question. How many times have you felt completely, utterly alone, trying to explain your symptoms, trying to understand what is happening inside your own body, and feeling as if nobody around you, not even doctors sometimes, could possibly comprehend the depth of the exhaustion, the frustration, and the pain you feel? I know how deeply that loneliness can hurt. I know what it's like to feel invisible in your own struggle. And I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, you are not alone in this fight. Your struggle is real, it is valid, and it is shared by a silent sisterhood of millions. If you have ever felt this way, this profound sense of being misunderstood on your journey, I would be so grateful if you would leave a comment below just saying, "I understand this struggle." Please write exactly that. Your message, seeing it appear next to others, will be a powerful, visible reminder for another woman. Perhaps a woman who is reading this late at night and feeling hopeless, that she is not crazy, she is not broken, and she is not alone. Your voice is a beacon in this community. Thank you. Now, let's talk about the fruits that feel like sunshine, but can cast a long shadow on your hormonal health. These are the sweet, delicious tropical fruits, specifically and most commonly, ripe bananas, juicy mangoes, and sweet pineapple. We are drawn to them. They are vibrant and they taste like a vacation. But for the polycystic ovary syndrome body, they must be approached with mindfulness and great caution. These fruits are particularly high in sugar, especially fructose, and they have what is known as a high glycemic index. This is just a simple way of saying they break down very quickly and raise your blood sugar very fast. When you are already insulin resistant, eating a large, ripe banana or a bowl of fresh mango is metabolically not very different from eating a candy bar. Your body, in its stressed state, doesn't distinguish the source. It just sees a massive influx of sugar, panics, and releases that damaging flood of insulin to cope. This perpetuates the entire vicious cycle. That insulin spike tells your liver to create more fat. It tells your ovaries to create more androgens, and it deepens the inflammation. The Buddhist wisdom teaches us to mindfully observe cause and effect, karma. The cause is the high sugar load hitting a sensitive system. The effect is the inflammation, the fatigue, the acne, the worsening of your symptoms. But how can this be? These fruits aren't processed. They have fiber and vitamins, don't they? They absolutely do. But the central issue in polycystic ovary syndrome is one of quantity and threshold. Your body's tolerance for this kind of sugar, in its current state, is simply lower than someone else's. It's a hard truth, but a compassionate one, because it gives you power. A Buddhist perspective isn't about labeling foods as good or bad. That is a dualistic, Western concept that creates guilt. The wisdom lies in seeing food as appropriate or inappropriate for your current condition, for this moment on your path. These fruits, in large quantities, are simply inappropriate for a body that is desperately seeking insulin balance. This does not mean you can never taste a banana again. That would be restriction, not wisdom. The wisdom is in the how. We practice mindfulness and moderation. Instead of a whole large ripe banana, which has more sugar, you might use half of a less ripe, slightly green-tipped banana, which has more resistant starch and less sugar. If you choose to eat pineapple or mango, treat it as a small, conscious indulgence, a dessert, not as a large, standalone snack. And here is the most crucial part. You always pair it with a strong source of protein or healthy fat. Have a few cubes of mango with a generous handful of walnuts or almonds. Have a few slices of banana with a big spoonful of unsweetened peanut butter or almond butter. The fat and protein act as a bodyguard, a protective buffer. They fundamentally change the metabolic equation, forcing your body to slow down the digestion of the entire meal, which buffers the sugar's impact and prevents the violent insulin spike. This is the middle way in action. It is not all. It is not nothing. It is balance, and it is combination. Pairing your fruit this way is a powerful, powerful strategy, but it's still fundamentally a defensive one. It's managing the impact of the sugar. What if we could shift our focus? What if, instead of just managing the problem, we could actively choose foods that heal the imbalance, that soothe the system? The next step in this journey is about shifting from defense to a gentle, loving offense. Embracing the foods that ancient wisdom and modern science both agree are profoundly healing and supportive. Before we move to this healing path, this place of nourishment, if this information is helping you see your body and your choices in a new, more compassionate light, please take just a moment to hit the like button. And then, if you haven't already, subscribe so you never miss any of our upcoming tips on managing your health with wisdom and grace. There is a third category of fruits that are perhaps the most deceptive, the most insidious in making polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms worse, and that is dried fruits. We are talking about raisins, dates, dried apricots, dried cranberries, and figs. These are relentlessly marketed to us as the perfect healthy snack. We see them in trail mixes, touted as nature's energy. We find them in natural energy bars and bites, or used as the primary sweetener in healthy paleo baking, replacing refined sugar. But we must use our mindful observation. What is dried fruit? It is fruit that has had all the water, all the volume, removed. This process does one thing. It concentrates the sugar into a tiny, dense, and incredibly potent package. A small, snack-sized box of raisins contains all the sugar of a massive bunch of grapes. A bunch you would likely never eat in one sitting. Eating 2 or 3 medjool dates, which are often called nature's caramel and used to sweeten smoothies, is metabolically identical to eating a handful of sugar cubes. They are exceptionally high on the glycemic index. They provide a massive, instantaneous sugar spike, demanding an enormous, stressful insulin response from your body, which, as we know, is the precise thing we are working so hard to heal. Can a few dates in a healthy brownie or a handful of raisins in a trail mix really be that damaging? Again, with compassion, the answer is yes. Because it is almost never just a few. Their concentrated fiber-stripped sweetness is highly palatable, even addictive for a body already on the blood sugar roller coaster. It makes portion control feel impossible. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that attachment and craving are the very source of our suffering. These highly concentrated sweets are not just food. They are fuel for that craving. They light up the same pleasure centers in the brain as refined sugar, making you want more and more, trapping you in the cycle. They are the absolute opposite of mindful eating. They encourage and perpetuate mindless overconsumption. The practical application here, the compassionate choice, is one of substitution. We must gently retrain our minds to see dried fruit in its concentrated form as candy. It is not a health food. It is not a free food, especially not for a woman with insulin resistance. This is not about deprivation. It is about liberation. You are liberating yourself from the craving cycle. Instead of snacking on a handful of raisins, snack on a bowl of fresh, beautiful raspberries. Instead of using dates to sweeten your baking, explore sweeteners that offer sweetness without the metabolic chaos, such as monk fruit sweetener, a very appropriately named tool for us, or allulose, neither of which impacts your blood sugar. You are not losing anything. You are making a conscious, loving, and powerful choice to remove the obstacle that is blocking your healing. You are choosing peace over chaos. You are choosing balance over the extreme. Removing these obstacles, these foods that look like friends but act like foes, is a vital part of the healing path. But healing is not just about not doing something. It is not just about avoidance. That is an empty path. True, sustainable healing is about doing something powerful, about adding nourishment. Now that we understand what to approach with gentle caution, we can finally, joyfully, embrace the path of true nourishment. What does the monk's middle way actually look like on a plate? What does it feel like in the body? The solution, the path to peace, is not to fear all fruit. That would be another form of extremism, another source of guilt and anxiety. The solution is to embrace the middle way by consciously choosing the right fruits and, most importantly, practicing the ultimate Buddhist wisdom, mindfulness. The fruits that are your truest allies, your healers, are the low glycemic, high fiber, and antioxidant-rich ones. Think above all of berries. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. These are nature's true medicine for polycystic ovary syndrome. They are packed with powerful antioxidants, called anthocyanins, which actively fight the chronic inflammation that is at the heart of polycystic ovary syndrome. And because their fiber content is so high relative to their sugar content, their low sugar load is released slowly, gently, like a whisper into your bloodstream. They do not demand a stressful insulin response. They quiet the hormonal noise. Other wonderful allies include tart cherries, which are also profoundly anti-inflammatory, kiwis, and, as we mentioned, the green-tipped, less ripe bananas, which are full of resistant starch to feed your healthy gut bacteria. These foods nourish you from the inside out. And this isn't just spiritual wisdom. It is backed by solid science. Research consistently shows that low glycemic diets are one of the most effective, foundational strategies for managing polycystic ovary syndrome. It's not a fad. It's a metabolic reality. Choosing a bowl of berries over a bowl of mango isn't just a random idea. It is a medically supported strategy for lowering androgen levels, improving insulin sensitivity, and even promoting ovulation. But is the answer just to eat berries? No. The answer, the deepest, most transformative part of this journey, is how you eat. This is the core of the monk's wisdom. You can eat all the right foods, but if you do it mindlessly, while stressed, while scrolling on your phone, while standing over the sink, you are still in a state of chaos. The deepest practice is mindfulness. The next time you eat, I invite you to try this. Just eat. Put a single raspberry in your mouth. Do not look at your phone. Do not watch television. Do not think about your to-do list. Just sit. What does it really taste like? What is the texture on your tongue? Feel the coolness, the burst of sweetness, the slight, pleasant tartness. Be grateful for this one small, perfect piece of nourishment. When you eat this way, you become deeply, profoundly connected to your body. You begin to develop an intimacy with your own biology. You start to notice, really notice, how food makes you feel 30 minutes or an hour after you eat it. You will eat that bowl of berries with walnuts and feel stable, calm, and clear. You might, on another day, eat a piece of sugary cake, and in that same state of quiet mindfulness, you will truly, perhaps for the first time, feel the fog settle over your brain. Feel the heat of inflammation rise. Feel the shaky, desperate energy dip that follows. Mindfulness is your greatest teacher. It is your infallible guide. It removes all the guesswork. Your body will tell you, in no uncertain terms, which foods are healing you and which foods are hurting you. If you can only become quiet enough and compassionate enough to listen to its wisdom. This practice of listening, of compassionate, non-judgmental attention, is the master key that unlocks everything. It's not just about fruit. It's about ending the war with your body and finally find home to yourself. If you made it this far, all the way to the end, it means you are truly, deeply searching for answers. It means you are ready for a new path. You are tired of the quick fixes, the confusing advice, and the feeling of being at war with your own body. This channel was created for exactly that reason. It was created to be a quiet, safe space to help you understand your body, to help you regain your sense of control, and to find gentle, sustainable, compassionate solutions that actually work. I need you to know that you are not alone here. We are building a community, a safe harbor, where women just like you, women on this same journey, can find support, validation, and real information that makes a profound difference in your life. This isn't about another restrictive diet. It's about finding a path to peace. If this is the kind of guidance, the kind of support you've been looking for, I warmly invite you to subscribe now and turn on the notifications. Every single video we create is another step, taken together toward a healthier, more balanced, and truly happier you. Thank you for sharing this time. Be well.